Hey guys, it's Melanie, and today I'm going to show you a eye tutorial using the new Tarte Emphasize Amazonian Clay Waterproof Cream Eyeshadow in Plum Smoke. And I'm basically going to be showing you kind of a purpley taupe kind of evening eye look. So hubby and I are, or at least I think we are, because he hasn't like confirmed anything with me. My husband's really one of those like fly by the seat of your pants, like don't actually make plans kind of guys, which annoys the crap out of me because like I'm a planner like for my profession and just personality wise. So anyway, we're supposed to go out on a date tonight, so I want to do something that's a little bit more fun and a little bit darker and maybe more dramatic than what I do for my normal look. So I already have my base or foundation on. I used my Everyday Minerals base, and this is the color Winged Butter, and this is their intensive base. So they don't make this formula anymore, but it is a much more opaque coverage type of foundation. I also have my contour on, which I made a little bit stronger than I do most days. I have the NYX blush in taupe, and I contoured my cheekbones as well as the sides of my nose. And for my blush, I have on the Wet n Wild Color Icon blusher in Pearlescent Pink. And that's what that looks like. The effect of it very much reminds me of like the NARS Orgasm. It's very pretty and it's definitely very pigmented. I really like the way that it looks on me. I think it's just a very pretty flush. So it does have a bit of, I would say, shimmer to it, so this might not be for everybody. Okay, so to get started, I also have my Lorac Behind the Scenes eye primer on, so always start out with an eye primer to keep your eyeshadow from creasing. Although these I think are technically crease proof, I still always add like an eyeshadow primer, and here comes Sophie. So we'll see if we can do this with a cat. So I'm going to take the brush that came with my little Precious Gems set from Tarte here, and I'm going to use that brush to get this product onto my eyes. I have no idea how this is going to go. This is my first time using a darker color like this from Tarte anyway. It's really pretty. It's very, it's totally like a first impressions here. It's very pigmented and opaque. So I'm getting quite a bit of coverage from it. So I'm just setting that down on my lid and going up a little bit into the crease. Sophie's being a little bit of an attention whore this morning. Okay, so you can see that shape there. This is a really pretty color. I like purple with green eyes. My eyes, they can look a couple of different shades. A lot of times they look very green. Sometimes they can look like a bluish green, and sometimes they look outright blue. I'm not sure how that's possible, but it is. So I kind of have these weird color changing eyes. So I'm going to be careful here to make sure I have the exact same shape because I don't want my eyes to look different. And since this is so pigmented, you kind of have to be a little bit careful about where you place it. Oh, see, I went a little bit further out. Let's see if we can clean it up. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I think it's, once it's on there, it's on there. That's not bad. You can play with it a little bit. But I can tell it's starting to dry. I might have to, where is it? I have to go a little bit further out here to match it up. Sophie, seriously. Sophie, get out of here. For
the longest time she was not coming into my videos, and now she's like back in her usual I'm feeling invasive, I have to be in your face all the time mood. This, like, once it's on, it's on. It's really, have to be a little bit careful about your placement here. Okay. Sorry, I'm being like super like anal and meticulous about this right now. Okay, so I think I'll be able to blend out the edge a little bit more. Okay. So we have the plum smoke down. Now what I'm going to do is just get a flat shader brush. This is just the e.l.f. Professional Eyeshadow brush. This one's clean. I don't know why I'm wiping it off. I'm going to take my MAC Satin Taupe, my favorite eyeshadow color of all time, and I'm just going to put that on top of it. And I'm really loading up my brush here, being sure to just tap it a couple times to get some of that excess off. And I'm just going to pack that on top. Oh, pretty. That really makes the Satin Taupe pop. It looks very true to color. I mean, what am I trying to say? It looks like it looks in the little container here. Make sure to really pat that in there. Okay, so you can see I kind of brought it up a little bit on the outer corner here. Now I'm going to take a clean blending brush and I'm going to get a little bit of the Satin Taupe on there. Tap that off. And then blend out these edges here with the Satin Taupe. So I'm really only using one color of eyeshadow. Well, that's going to be a lie because I am going to use like a highlight as well. But in terms of like lid and crease color, they are the same color. So just really work on blending out those edges, especially on the outer corner here because I don't want a really sharp defined line. Okay. So there's that. I'm going to move on to the other eye and just place that Satin Taupe down on the lid, and then we'll move on to kind of blending this out even further. I am getting a fair amount of fallout here because I'm really putting on quite a bit of color, so I'm going to have some cleanup to do. Can you hear Sophie purring? He's staring at me like a crazy cat right now. Are you gonna eat my face, Sophie? She's really a very sweet cat, but I could see her like turning into like zombie cat. She just, I could see her having a little bit of crazy inside of her. Okay, so now moving on to blending out the edges with that E25 blender brush. And I'm just using windshield wiper motions. There's nothing special about this technique. I just basically want to diffuse the edges a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Okay. So I need to get rid of some of this fallout. So what I'm going to do is just take a powder brush and brush that away. Okay, so that took that away. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Naked 2 palette and I'm going to go in with the color, let's see, Foxy. So this is kind of that matte buttercream color. Just going to take a fluffy brush, load some product on there, and then proceed to put that in the area that I blended the Satin Taupe up to, all the way up to my brows. And I'm just gonna, again, use that windshield wiper motion to go back and forth and to blend the crease area out a little bit. Not the crease area, the area above the crease. So you can see that softened that up a little bit. Move on to the other side. And just, again, go back and forth. And just blend until you're happy with that transition. Then I want a little bit of an inner corner highlight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Booty Call, which is the other light color in this palette, and it's a very shimmery color. I'm just going to take the shadow brush that came with the palette, knock off a little bit of that excess, and then put that on the inner corner and blend that slightly inward. So that just lightens that inner corner area a tad. Okay, I'm going to also take a little bit of that and put it along the inner corner of the lower lash line. Okay, pretty happy with that. Then I'm going to take the fluffy side of, like, the blending part, go into the Booty Call again, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that Booty Call in this, like, inner, like, nose, upper nose area here. I don't know what this is called. So I'm just going to kind of highlight this whole area here real quick. Because the eyes, while they don't look really dark on camera, because the light's really bright right here, it kind of washes it out a little bit. It's pretty dark. So I think what's going on with that. I am going to use a black liner, just because this is more of like an evening look. If I wanted it to be a little bit more neutral, I would probably use the Dark Taupe Shimmer Jumbo Liner from Sephora, but I'm going to use the black. So I'm just going to apply my eyeliner. Same technique that I always use, where it goes up just a little bit further on the outer corner and then gets really thin towards the inner corner. So even though you can't really see it because my hand is in the way, that is what I am doing. Sure, just knock stuff down. Again, make that line really thin as you get to your inner corner. You could definitely do this with like a liquid liner, or even like a felt tip liner if you wanted to. So there's what that looks like. It's not a super thick line, but I definitely want the liner to be substantial. So my eye's starting to twitch. Don't twitch right now. Really close to the lash line on the inner corner. And make sure that you're really getting the liner into your lash line, because you don't want to have like a gap between where your liner starts and your lash line. The liner is meant to make your lash line look thicker and more substantial. So if you have a gap between the two, that can look a little bit weird. So just go in and really make sure that you're putting down a fair amount of color right by your lashes. Okay, so now what I'm going to do to set this is I'm actually going to go in with Busted, which is like a dark, kind of deep purple in the Naked 2 palette here. And I'm just going to go in with a pointed brush, and this is just a Sonia Kashuk one. So I'm going to tap into that. It's basically like a darker version of the Satin Taupe. And I'm going to put that over the black liner, and that softens that black liner up just a tiny bit. It gives the liner a teensy bit of a purple tinge so that it matches the eyeshadow just a little bit. So there you can see. It also, since it has a bit of shimmer in it, it makes the liner a little bit shiny, or shimmery, not shiny. I'm going to take a little bit of the Busted and put that underneath my lower lashes here. It's really hard to talk. I guess I could learn to do like a voiceover, but not today. Really not in the mood for learning anything new. Here, let's see if this helps. Again, just going in, making sure that you've tapped off a lot of the excess and just topping your black liner. This is just a great way to turn any liner into one that complements your eyeshadow. So you can take any color eyeshadow that you wanted, and darker version anyway, and use that to go over your eyeliners. So get a good basic black and brown, and then use your darker eyeshadows to change the colors. You could do that with like a teal, you could do it with a gray, you could do it with a taupe, like pretty much anything. I did end up having some fallout, so I'm just going to sweep that away before I go back in and do my lower lash line. And I really kind of prefer using eyeshadow on lower lash lines because it looks softer than just having like a black, like a solid black line. I mean, sometimes I'll definitely use like an eyeliner under there, but I always blend it out a little bit or soften it with a Q-tip to make sure it doesn't look like super, super harsh. Okay, so brush that away one more time. Now really quickly I'm going to do my eyebrows, and then I'll stop filming, do my eyelashes, and come back and show you guys the finished product. So I'm going in with my Anastasia powder here in the taupe color. I'm just filling in my brows. Filling in my brows is a must because my brows are obviously very like sparse, so not everybody will have to do this step. I do recommend always brushing through your brows, like in case you got some mascara, not mascara, but foundation on your brows. So just kind of clean that up, even if you have nice, luscious, amazing brows. I'm going to make them just a little bit darker on the tails here to define them even further. And then underneath. Okay, brush through with just a brow brush. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. This is just one from e.l.f. I think it was $1. other side. And when doing your brows, I know it's recommended that you just use these short strokes, but sometimes I do longer strokes when I'm applying my brow powder, just because it helps me get through it a little bit faster. But you definitely do get a little bit more of a natural look when you are using like the shorter strokes, especially when you're using a brow pencil or like a brow crayon type of thing, because those tend to be a lot more harsh, so they're a little bit less forgiving. I do think that I prefer powder for kind of like my everyday application method. Just need a little bit more here. And then slightly darker on the tail. And then I think that ought to do it. I'll have to do a little bit of cleaning up. For some reason, I always make this one just a little bit thicker on the tail, and then I have to go back in and thin it out. And that's super easy to do when you use a powder, because you just wipe the powder away. Okay, go through with my brush, brush through that. So when you're brushing through, it definitely gets rid of some of the powder, so you may have to go through and fill in certain areas just a little bit again. Okay. Again, I have fallout. Most rational people would probably just do their foundation last so they wouldn't have to deal with this, but I don't know. I always prefer to do my foundation first. Okay, I'm gonna leave you guys for a second here and finish my eyelashes, and then I'll come back and show you the finished look and show you the lipstick that I'm gonna use. So we'll see you soon. Okay guys, so back to finish off the look for you. Finished my lashes, and now I'm going to take Viva Glam 2 from MAC, and not using a liner today. I'm just gonna slap that on. And over top of that, I'm gonna use one of my favorite lip glosses. This is from Essence. It's the Triple XL Nudes Lip Gloss in Nude Kiss. You can find this at Ulta, or you can find it at some drugstores as well. This is not nearly as sticky as these Revlon lip glosses, which I think I just kind of like using on their own, so I'll be using those with lipstick because they get kind of too thick and goopy. So here is the finished makeup look. I obviously don't have my hair done yet. I need to go blow dry it. But here's the eyes up close. So you can see it's just a very pretty, like, purpley taupe. I would call this a little bit of a smoky eye. Again, it's not coming off probably quite as dark on camera as it is in person. I love purples, like I said, with green eyes. So I think this is a beautiful combination for anybody who has green eyes, or even brown eyes. If you have blue eyes, I think you can definitely still pull it off. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think that these Tarte Emphasize Amazonian Clay Cream eyeshadows are great. It applied beautifully. It like made the Satin Taupe so much more intense, and very true to color. So
I definitely recommend these little guys. They do come in a larger size when you purchase them individually, but I thought this was a really good deal. So in my haul video, which is one video ago here, I put the link down in the bottom bar for where you can find them on the Sephora website. So go check out that video if you're interested. And I'm going to go finish my hair, and I am hopefully going to be doing my skincare video routine today as well. So we'll see if I can get Stella to sleep through another video after I get my hair done. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.